Hey everyone, and welcome back to another live stream. This one is kind of going to be a little bit different. It's going to be myself for a change. There's no Dave tonight. Today I'm just going to kind of show off what I got at the boot sale, and didn't realise there was also a toy fair on until last night. So I went to the toy fair, picked up a few bits as well. There might be a couple of guests coming on, hopefully. I know one's coming on at 9 o'clock. So this is where I've kind of started this a little bit early, just to see how this will go myself in the future. Like I said, went to the boot sale today. Found some not too bad bits. Toy fair was slightly a little bit different. Found bits I've already had, but I wanted to have one carded, one open kind of thing. So, but before we'll just kind of get in it the new. So the first item that I got was managed to pick up the A-Team helicopter. Fortunately, the guy did say to me one of the propellers is broken, but I'm going to try and see if I can fix this. I do have a Hannibal, so it's not a Murdoch, but I've got a Hannibal for this. So this was kind of like the first piece that I kind of picked up. It's not usual to see A-Team merch at the carboot sales these days. Halo bot. Hey, G-Force. You know, some of this is kind of Star Wars related, a lot of it. So picked up the Force Attack. It has got a few cards in it. I don't know how good the camera will kind of pick these up, but it's not complete. But I thought it was a nice little piece to add to the collection. Try and do this a little bit better. And she also threw in some cards as well. So we've got Jabba, there's Boba, there's Tarkin, got C-3PO, there's Chewbacca. I'll probably be here all night showing this stuff off. Like, I don't know how I don't know how long it's going to take me to go through all this. I've got all these cards, so I need to kind of go through all them all. Never know, there might be some cards I could add to that pack as well. Yeah, what have we got? Hey Ian, evening Baz. What's a very rare find? Finding a rare figure, Ian, for 50 pence is rare. G-Force might like this, but I managed to find an Action Force annual. This is kind of weird doing this myself and not having somebody else in with me. But it's actually in really good condition for the year it was. I'm sure this was 80. I'm sure I've seen a date on this somewhere. Sure I did. I could swear I've seen a date on this somewhere. But my good friend Ian, that's in the chat, would appreciate Dandy and Beano. Found another copy of this. this? Highly unusual to get any team. Nice. Very cool. Unusual on the front here. I thought it was kind of weird because I used to find a lot of A-team stuff, but over the years I've never really found it anymore. It was just nice at finding that helicopter. Fortunately, one of the propellers is broken, but I might be able to fix it. I don't know. And then I found Masters of the Universe annual as well. This one's not too bad, especially for the year. These ones coming out. It's always nice to add bits and pieces to the collection. And the guy threw this in, drawing manga stuff. Try and see if I can. Just bear with me, I'll just try and put some of the stuff away while we're on there. And talking about A-Team, I managed to find like the newer version of BA, but it's like the big one. Takes back. I've still got to check it, see if it works in that. But no. Our good friend Nick from Action Pop Dad, hopefully will pop on at 9 o'clock. So I managed to find Action Man bad guy, Dr. X. I don't know why they gave them so weird kind of gimmicks. But that might go to my nephew. And I've been hunting for one of these for a while. I've got one of the smaller versions that light up, but I managed to find one of the bigger ones from the Tron movie. This one still does work, I think.
My name is Sam Flynn. I'm not a program.
These are quite weird looking things, like.
Some things are worth the risk.
I had to put in, I've not checked the Mr. T one, but I had to check this one, make sure this one was working, because I wanted to show that one kind of off. Hey, Gerard. Oh, nice. That Beano cover is different to find. In my experience, I miss the Christmas tradition. Yeah. Dr. Ace looks like a Mr. P. Yeah, you could probably say that. Right. So, also found TARDIS. I know Shabby was looking for one. I might speak to Dave, maybe give this to Dave, and when Dave goes to does his American one, see if he can maybe post that to Shabby for me. If he's still, that's if Shabby's still interested in the TARDIS, or I could send it to Si. And I don't know, these things are following me like I don't know what, but I managed to find another 2 of these. Fortunately, they're missing the guns and the helmet, missing the tails, but I found about 7 of these last year, and I ended up getting rid of them. Now I've managed to find another 2. And majority of this stuff that I got was actually off one guy. That this was his last day at the boot sale, so everything that was on his shelf, he just wanted to get rid of it. So I got a really nice deal on some of the stuff. So he threw this in for nothing. This Captain Marvel plaque thing. What Doctor Who is the TARDIS? Don't know, Ian. I need to kind of check that up. Yeah, they seem to keep following me. I seem to kind of keep finding Striders all over the place. Lobot. Hey, Rolando. And I found this guy on the way out of the car boot sale. Don't know if anybody remembers these, like the knockoff troll things. It looks like somebody's cut its hair, but I do like weird figures. So he'll kind of go nice to the collection. Also got this R2D2 like micro machine set thing. Fortunately, there are no figures in it, but I thought it was still a nice little piece to get. Now that I've opened that, I'm not too sure how to shut it again. Oh, that's it. Ooh. And then I got some of these knockoff. Got a couple of the like knockoff wrestlers as well. And I found a Party King Hiss. I need to try and see if I can find his armor, but I know that's going to be a challenge. Also found this as well. I mean, as I say, majority of this is after one guy, man. He was basically everything was on his thing. He was just basically getting away for nothing. Because this one should have a gun that goes on the top, but it's missing. But I might be able to do something with it. Oh, we have a guest. I'll just bring him in.
How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
I'll just join you. I've been telling you I was going to join you for a while, but just I haven't had a open weekend. My family's so busy, so
That's nice. I'm just kind of showing off the bits and pieces that I got today, kind of thing.
nice. So you guys talk about like boot sales, like garage, like from cars. Is it more like a garage sale? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, you can kind of say that. It's more like your flea markets.
Oh,
it's more like your flea markets kind of style.
Okay.
Majority, it is true, and a lot of them do sell from their boots of their car, kind of thing.
Hey, we're common people separated by the common language.
Yeah, another pan for as well. Fortunate, his gimmick doesn't work, but majority of these, the guy was just basically getting rid of these, man.
Yeah.
I found this.
What is that?
That is Peter Pan.
Oh yeah, I see. I gotta make my screen bigger. There you go. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, nice.
And a lot of folk know me for the Discord, man. I like Power Rangers as well, so I managed to find this is majority complete. All he's missing is his weapon. I was at the car boot sale this morning, and then I decided it was like late last night. I didn't realise there was a toy fair class toy market near me. So I decided to go to that as well, and I've picked up a few bits from that as well.
Nice.
Managed to find another Shitara as well. This one's working. It's always weird. It's that when you get like the 80s toys, it's always weird that they give them really weird gimmicks.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 bags, one full of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And I got kind of a random bag. I only paid £2 for these.
Oh wow, wow. So people don't know what they have then. Lots of times, do they?
No, well, majority of this stuff that I got for the boot sale today was off of one guy.
Yeah.
So this was his last boot sale.
Mm.
He was kind of retiring. It was just getting too much for him. So whatever was on his stall, he was basically just selling it for pennies.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he had like 3 big bins full of action figures from anything from like kiddie stuff up until like modern stuff.
Mm.
And I was kind of looking through it, and he's like, "Oh," he says, "just fill a bag up.
Mm.
Fill a bag up for £1." And it's the worst thing to say to a Scotsman is fill.
That's awesome.
I noticed there was a load of Star Wars in it, so I had to add some more Star Wars stuff to the collection. I've probably already got some of these guys, but I don't mind having kind of doublers.
Mm. Do you resell any of your stuff at all, or do you just kind of keep it all and just it is what it is? Just question.
No, I usually keep the stuff, but in the future and by the end of the year, I'm hopefully going to start selling some stuff as well.
Yeah.
I need to kind of go through the collection, what I need, what I don't need, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because at the minute, I'm in so many rabbit holes, as I say, for collections.
Yeah.
It's unreal, and it's the biggest one I've got is Transformers.
Mm.
I've got a lot of Transformers now that I don't really need. I've got like about 50 Bumblebees. You only kind of need 1 or 2 different types, kind of thing, eh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, because I know some guys they'll upgrade like their versions of their figures and stuff. You know, like they have like a beater figure of like G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I used to do that as well, kind of thing, eh?
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
like I've always got the Shitara, so I'll kind of see what state that one's in. If that one's in a better condition, then I'll just keep that one for just in case anybody needs it, does a trade later on or sell it.
Yeah, do you do a lot of tour photography too, or are you just more just?
I've kind of started it.
Mm-hmm.
Good friend Travis on the Discord. I think he's action something on. I can't remember what he's on Instagram, but he's kind of been helping me kind of do it because it's an interesting thing to just take pictures of your figures, kind of thing. Eh?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you recognise this one, Legon.
The Mask?
No.
Oh, what is that?
It's an 80s TV show.
Okay.
Probably Ian in the chat will probably know what this guy's from. But have you ever heard of a TV series? It's a British TV series, but it's cried. Was it Terrorhawks?
No, I'm not familiar with it, but
so this is, I can't remember what this guy's name is, but Ian might be able to help us out. But he's one of the good guys.
Okay.
It's like a puppet. It was like a puppet show. It was Jerry Anderson's. It's a guy that done Thunderbirds. He's done quite a few different shows back in the day. But the Terrorhawks was probably the most scariest one of them all. Because especially the bad guys. The bad guys were like, it's not a thing a kid should have looked at back in the day, kind of thing. Eh? So how are you anyway?
Oh, I'm good. It's just a Saturday. I spent all the day yesterday putting up our pool. We put up a 14 by 14 foot pool up in our yard, 14 by 3 feet deep, and I had to level it because I kind of live on a hill, so I was having to level it with a yard of sand and putting it together, and looking at my son helped me out a lot, and so we finally got it up yesterday. But it's because it's been blazing hot. We're gonna get up to 100 degrees here, which, if you know anything about the Pacific Northwest where I'm from, it just doesn't get that hot here. We don't usually get that hot, so it's real nice, and it's getting the kids outside. The wife's loving it. Because the idea of the kids are quiet outside. You don't have to listen to them all fighting inside. So
yeah, man, I can't believe, man, I paid majority £1 for all these Star Wars stuff, because it's kind of a mixture of different waves.
Oh, geez, Forces in the house. All the normal crazy guys in the house, like a little bot and everybody. Orlando, that's awesome. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it. Ah, when bots. I love prequels. Prequels is my jam. I tell you what.
But my friend Ian, that's in the chat,
Mhm.
I'm trying to help him out with some bits and pieces. He wants at least one item from each toy line, if possible. I'm going to try and help him out. But we were talking about Star Wars the other night, so I've got my Darth Vader. But he was asking about Mace Windu.
Oh yeah.
You have a couple of spare ones, but it's the one of them's from the Clone Wars that I'm keeping. Another one's like for the modern Clone Wars. But today I found another Mace Windu.
Nice.
So if he wants this, let me know, and I'll add that to his box.
Nice.
I mean, there's like the young Anakin.
Yeah.
His pod gear.
Racing.
And I've got a really, really tiny Leia.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it's like when I was going through the box, I was like,
Wait a
she's
minute.
not really in scale with anybody.
Oh, when you take pictures, just put her in the background all the time. People can't tell.
And I've got the I think that's the Rebels Leia,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. And I can never mind his name. He's got one of those weird. There's Snook.
I was really hoping that Snoke would have been more than he was in the movies. I was hoping he was going to be a good bad guy, but they just kind of dropped him. It was just
talking about sequels.
Yeah.
I've got Boss. Is it Boss Nass?
Yeah.
Nash?
Nice.
I don't know where he got all these Feynman, but man, some of these are in really, really good condition for. He must have not long picked these up, but I was talking to him the day because that's where I got my big. That's where I got the art from last year. Now he did say he had some more Star Wars stuff, but he's never got around to doing it. So now he's just had enough of it. I think in the early mornings on a Saturday and a Sunday, I think it's just getting to him. So when I seen him this morning, he's like, "Oh, he said I might have some bits for you." Nice. A couple of Jawas that I'm throwing a bit.
Yeah, I guess that's what it always amazed me about Star Wars. It was so much more world building than a lot of the other toy lines, if you notice, because they had so many characters and so many background people you can press out figures for. You know, that was that's always the interesting about Star Wars to me.
It's like with Star Wars is that I always think it's a bit funny, even though man, I love Star Wars, but it's like you'll see a scene, there'll be one guy in the back, and the next minute you've got figures for him.
Yeah, gotta sell.
I also picked up like a couple of R2 units as well. Nice. There's another Shore Trooper, Darth Maul, a Rey. I don't know how many Reys I've actually got, but
it could be Rose Tico. You can have tons of Rose Ticos. You can only find those cheap still, I think.
And got another pile. I'm not too sure who she is. Yeah. There's another C-3PO that I threw away. I think this one's actually for either the clone. I think this is a Clone War one.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. So I never used it. I never picked up any of the Clone War like TV series figures until recently, kind of thing. I've just been picking them up when I see them.
Yeah. Like I said, I see the power of the Force all the time. Like even like on little thrift stores and all of the toys, old toy stores and stuff like that. I always see the power of the Force.
Well, talking about power of the Force,
is
that I seen this. I says, I'll just grab the tin because I thought the tin looked quite cool. But inside the tin is actually power of the Force figures.
Nice.
So you've got Han.
Yeah.
There's Vader. Another Han.
Yeah.
Yoda.
Lando.
Shabby's favorite one.
Yeah, Luke.
There's actually 3 Lukes in here. General Akbar.
Yeah.
And Yak Face.
Yeah, it's funny. My daughter is the junk store buying person. Like my wife doesn't like going to thrift stores. My son really hates going shopping. But I take my daughter, me and her we just go for hours. Just look. Half the time we don't buy nothing. We just look. It's just the excitement.
And I found, and I've got the bigger tumbler, the one that's got the electronics in it, but I found the smaller one as well. I mean, I think that guy had tons of stuff, but I was like, I would have bought everything that he had.
Yeah.
I want to try and keep some money for the fair as well.
Oh, it looks like we all got Vader girls in the house. Thanks for showing up to the stream. This is awesome. Thanks for having me on your stream. I appreciate it. Because I love just jumping on and talking with people. That's what I do.
Hey, anybody's welcome. That's why I usually every week I usually put the monkey lizard thing just to see if anybody wants to jump in. There's another
pilot.
And I've got a couple of, I think these are McDonald's.
Oh, nice. I tell you, talk about like Happy Meal toys and stuff like that. Burger King a long time ago, like in the 80s, in the 90s, when they were re-releasing a lot of the old monster films, they had awesome like old monster movie toys, and they were like, like you can get Dracula and he came out of his coffin, or Frankenstein. Those are really awesome little toys. I've been trying to track down some of those down, but they can be they can be pretty costly. But I tell you, some of those McDonald's stuff there's good money there.
I have got one of those figures. I managed the Wolfman a few weeks back, and then I found a charm figure. I might actually try and customize this because I'm kind of going to customizing through a friend.
Nice.
And got a few of these Batmans. I picked these up for my nephew because my nephew loves Batman.
Nice.
Got the bad guy from the worst Dragon Ball movie ever. Oh. Just give me 2 seconds, Nick, and I'll bring you in. Nice. Got another style. This one's kind of this one's mostly for my nephew, kind of thingy, but
yeah, Batman.
Really leave the Batman stuff because he loves the Batman. Let's bring him in.
That's not good. Hello.
Hey, Nick.
You're right. How you doing?
You just missed this. You just missed the Star Wars stuff, man.
Oh man, I did just hear you talking about the Burger King Universal Monsters, and weirdly enough, I had all those as a kid, and I was looking at them on eBay the other day, and they're mentally priced now.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I remember because I was in high school when those came out. I remember that I had some of them. Like, these are really cool, and it's like little toys.
Well, I'm just going to do the husband thing. Night, bub. Love you. Love you.
And then I picked up some of these Transformers Alliance guys as well.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
To go with I've got the one that goes. I've got the Bumblebee, and I've got it's one of the Wreckers. I can't remember which one it is, but it's the guy that speaks Scottish. It's the Scottish one. So I've got his from in guy, but guy was having these, so I picked all these up.
Ideal. Every time I see you on cam, Baz, I know you're going through your pickups, but those blooming Power Rangers Zords. Oh.
And Dave, that's kind of weird because tonight there's no Dave, so I decided it's like I've got the boot sale this morning. I was like, right, I'm definitely going to do one. I've managed to find some good bits. Had the toy fair as well, Nick. Because I managed to find some decent bits of the toy fair.
Sorry about my phone then being.
I know a majority of the stuff is kind of modern kind of stuff here, but
yeah, but there is still some cool modern stuff. I mean, my little boy, he goes to charity shops a lot, and he picked up a talking R2, well, not talking, but a little 3.75 scale R2 with all the sound effects.
I wish I could actually find the full size version of these ones, but these things are impossible to find for a good price.
It's okay, your phone's spirit.
And
hello, little person.
Yeah, that's that. I'm a dad too. Dad needs a full
modern BA.
All right, bye. That's my little shopper. She loves the thrift stores with me. Like I said, my wife and my son hate it. They won't go to Goodwills or thrift stores and like that. Or
So I can only presume that thrift stores are what we call charity
Yeah,
shops.
yeah. Just secondhand stores. Yeah. Just,
I love a good charity shop.
I'll just show you the bag, Nick, but that's full of Star Wars.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't.
So
If I sold all that much stuff, I wouldn't leave the store.
This little nice tin that is full of more Star Wars stuff.
oh, amazing!
It's like instant collection.
Is that a Power of the Force? Desert
the
Luke,
Power of the Force.
Farm Boy Luke, Desert Luke, Farm Boy Luke, whatever.
There's three different versions of Luke in that bag.
Actually, typical. I can't see him now because my little boy is.
I'll kind of show this off again because you kind of missed it. But I found this today.
18, nice.
But I might need to speak to Dave Palloy to see how I can put the propeller back on. The guy did say the propeller's popped off. One of the propellers is broken, so I don't know if I'll be able to. Don't know if super glue will be able to do it or that plastic wheel stuff that he uses.
I mean, Dave's very, very easy to get hold of. If you contact him, I used to speak to him on Instagram a lot. I'm not sure if, when I saw his pile of toys in his garage, if he had any A-Team stuff, but I think he's possibly worked on some A-Team stuff. But he's what hasn't he fixed, or what vintage toy line?
Well, even if he doesn't, even if he hasn't, he probably has an idea to fix it. I've caught some of his shows too. He's fantastic.
But then I went and found the Force Woman Jabba as well. I found another one.
Nice.
He's cool. I've seen some people do some really cool repaints of that Jabba.
I do have the vintage one, but some silly bugger went and glued one of the arms. So I need to try and see if I can undo it and see if I can fix it.
Dave's got a video on.
I know. I need to
arms.
look at that. So now we're kind of going on to the Toy Fair stuff. So I picked up a couple of Dragon Ball Z figures as well.
Cool.
Nice.
I've got quite. I do have a small collection.
So feel free to kick me off the stream, but Dragon Ball Z is something that sort of passed me by, and I didn't realize how bloody long it's been going for.
Oh yeah, it's years and years. I mean, I remember when I was in the service back in early 2000s, when the video games for it, the fighting games were coming out for it. Like a whole bunch of guys in the barracks were all hyped up over it and playing it and stuff. They're really, really into Dragon Ball and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's kind of funny. Like I always say, that's why I enjoy like YouTube and the internets and all and stuff like that. It reminds me of being in the service a little bit because you run into people from all over the place. Of course, in American service, I'm with mostly Americans, but it's still the idea. Because you have to think of America as almost 50 different states, almost. Like our states are the size of some European countries. So,
oh god, some of your states are bigger than England
as well. That are all tinned.
That is really cool. I like that. It's all bulky. How you're watching Batman and the Bee, Yeah,
because I got that one as well.
Yes.
I think there's one of them's more a modern version, and I think the other one's like a classic. So you got like the more.
Oh, he's cool.
I picked up the Mcfarland. I think it's Mcfarland. That girl.
And then you've kind of got like in the 60s.
Oh, I like him. I like him a lot. Sorry, you were saying you picked up the Mcfarland
Batgirl? Yeah, see if I have it real quick. Yeah, it's just right here. I picked it up I picked her up on clearance at her Target for like $10, and I was like, I have to get that for $10.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, it's just like I said. Like I tell people all the time, like be patient with toys because they overmake the heck out of them. Just let them go to clearance.
100%. 100%.
Especially, I was talking to Target once, and I bought this weird thing. I don't know where it's at now, but it was just some kind of bizarre like Fortnite line. It was really it was League of Legends, and it was like this evil tree kind of thing. And I bought it for like $5, and I asked the lady at the checkout, I was like, "Why is this so cheap?" And she says because people pre-order, and when they cancel the pre-order, they have to send it somewhere. And so if guys are pre-ordering a whole bunch of stuff and they find out in the wild and they cancel their pre-orders like at Target or whatever, they'll end up sending them to Target and putting them on clearance. So all those,
So
yeah.
I picked this up at the toy fair the other day for £1.
Oh wow, nice.
£1.
£1.
You can't turn it that. Do you know what? It doesn't matter if it's an IP I don't like. If I see a decent toy for £1,
You're picking
I'm
it.
having it. You know.
I actually picked this up for my nephew, Nick, because he likes Shazam and he likes Black Adam, because he wants to go and see the Black Adam movie when it comes out. But I think he might be a bit
Is
young.
that the one that The Rock's playing?
Yeah. But I need to find out. He might already have this one, but when I seen it for £1, I know it's just a standard kiddies version of it. But
Mate, even if he's already got it for £1, he can hang it up as a spare on his wall. You know.
and
I
then
mean, he won't. He'll rip it open.
Picked up about 2 bags.
Monster in my pocket.
Yeah.
What are those?
Monsters in your pocket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by Matchbox. Were they really? I could be wrong. Someone will correct me, but I think they were released by a different company in the States. They were sort of a Matchbox's version of the muscle figures, but they were more multicolored.
Funny you say that. I did pick up a couple of muscle figures.
Hey,
have you guys ever heard of the Z-Box? Have you guys ever heard of Z-Box?
Yes.
I love those. Those are expensive too. Because I remember getting those.
They're nuts.
Yeah.
The one was finding a glow in the dark monsters in your pocket.
Nice.
These things are gold dust.
I tell you, my favorite. I only had a couple months in my pockets as a kid because you could buy them in like random baggies when we were a kid. I think they were or whatever. And
I remember getting them out of quarter machines. You can get them out.
Yeah, I mean, the first one I ever got was the first series Mummy, and it was in the red rubber with the bandages hanging on him. And I'm determined to find him again one day, and I couldn't give a damn about the rest of them. Yeah. But that was mine, and some little turd in my school nicked it out of my drawer.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, leave that with me, Nick, because a few years back I found a big haul of fucking monsters in your pocket from the charity shop, with 50 pence a bag between monsters in your pocket and other bits and pieces. I'll double check the box, and if I have got that one in there, send me a picture of what you're looking for, and I'll have a look for it for you. If I've got
I appreciate that. If there's anything I can send in return, always just
it's cool.
Yeah, I've got some more boglins to add to the collection as well.
I got a little interesting story about those mini boglins. Well, it might not be interesting, but there's a guy in my town. He's a counsellor. I used to be a town counsellor. Believe it or not.
The bag. Isn't it that one, is it?
It's that exact one.
Oh, that's awesome. That rocks. That's
cool. That one.
These were just these were like £5 for the bag, for each. So I was like, I wasn't saying no for because some folk are selling these for a fortune.
Yeah.
How mad is that? We just discussed it, and he's just
awesome.
This one.
No, you care what it was. When you just see something was hanging off on like a band, I just happened to notice one. It looked like a mummy, and I was like, "Is this what Nick's looking for?"
That's awesome. So, what is a town councillor exactly? I've heard that term used. You guys use that term? Is it like a mayor or just a representative?
Oh yeah, okay. So I mean, that's not the purpose of the story. The story does lead into boglins, but yeah, town councillor is small government, no real power, no nothing, and you could become a mayor. I lasted 2 of my 4 years before I basically said, "Nah, this isn't for me." But one of the guys on the council who I'm friends with, and he's been mayor, he has the world's largest collection of mini boglins, verified, and it came down to a bidding war a few years back between him and the original IP owner of boglins, and they were bidding against each other. And as soon as he realized who it was he was bidding against, he backed out and was like, "Nah, the owner needs to have this."
Yeah. And
as a consequence, him and the owner now know each other quite well, and he always gets sent any boglin stuff that's new or in the works.
That's cool.
And I found a couple of Black Series Stormtroopers.
I like the battle damage one. That's cool. Does he have battle damage? The second one?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Now, Black Series. Everyone talks about Black Series. Never collected one. Is it lethal if I buy a Black Series figure because I get hooked on things?
Probably not, probably when they first come out, yes, because you might have every one, but I've now just started picking up characters that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Or
See, what I would like to do with anything is I'd like to say, if I'm going to collect them, I'd like to say maybe the Cloud City crew of like Lando and Leia and little bits like that. I couldn't give a shit about, excuse my French. I couldn't give a damn about the background characters or men carrying ice cream making machines. You know, I'm very simple in what I like.
it depends on what you kind of like, man. If you prefer like the original Star Wars trilogy, then you want to have the original crews. Man, when you go into like the trilogy ones, the other ones, the newer ones, it's up to yourself if there's figures there that you're interested in. I'd rather just buy the Stormtroopers from all the different, because they're all different. I like the...
Yeah, I mean, Stormtroopers are cool. I mean, in my world, there's no such thing as A New Hope. It's Star Wars. Boba Fett didn't appear until The Empire Strikes Back. There was certainly no Jabba the Hutt. And Han Solo is a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah.
He blasted Greedo. So that's where I'm at with Star Wars.
Yeah, well, actually, I've always been a prequel fan. Because I missed out on regular Star Wars because I was born in '80. So by the time 1980, so by the time the movies were all done with, I was like 6. I don't remember none of the movies. So and the only time I ever watched original Star Wars when it was free on TV. And so, like I said, the prequels is where I'm at. The first one I saw in high school, and the second one I saw later on. And then the third one I saw Revenge of the Sith in Afghanistan on a Haji film. Remember when this Return of the Sith, the editor's copy got leaked on the internet? Well, the next day in Afghanistan, there was just piles and piles and piles of bootleg copies of his DVD, and you picked it up for like $3 and you saw the movie. And I still have my Haji version somewhere.
Oh man, you gotta.
Yeah, it was
things like that, memories.
One, Nick, but as I showed you the last time you were on,
Harley Quinn, you did one of, didn't you?
I'm working on the Harley Quinn one, but I'm thinking about doing a few more. But so she's got like her own squad, like her own death squad.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason I kind of picked him up. Man, this guy was kind of cheapish. This one wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
This one was a bit more expensive than this, but I mean, if I can get more like that, or even more like the Harley Quinn one that I'm working on, then I'll maybe make a couple of more troopers just for her.
Yeah. What kind of paints do you use for that? What kind of paints do you use to customize that? Don't mind me asking.
It's usually Citadel.
Citadel? Okay.
It's usually the one we use for the
favorite paint.
Yeah.
And do you usually rough it up a little bit to get the paint to stick to the plastic, or how's the best way to do it? I have no knowledge about custom at all.
For me, I usually just give it a good clean way.
Okay.
I get a good clean first. Depending on the plastic, sometimes you might have to slightly rough up, but you've kind of got to watch that you don't damage it too much, because when you put the paint on, the paint does come through.
The thing I like about Citadel paints is they tend to cover really well.
Mm-hmm. And they dry quite quickly as well.
They dry very quickly. If you top coat them, I mean, I've only ever had, of all the Citadel paints I've got, today is the first time I've come across one where it's dried out in the pot, and they're generally pretty good. The only thing I would say with Citadel paints is they taste like shit, because I'm terrible. I never have a dip in pot, and I always clean my brush like that.
Dave's asking what part of the states are you from?
I'm from Oregon, Pacific Northwest. It's north of California and south of Washington, kind of on the west coast side. So
I picked up a couple of Assassin's Creed figures as well.
Yeah. So that's why it's really hard for me to catch you guys' streams if they're not on the weekends, because I'm usually doing stuff during the day. So
I usually pick these kind of things, but I quite like this one.
Nice.
And then the guy's like, "Oh, I'll give you that one as well."
I love it when that happens.
That's Assassin's Creed, right?
Yeah, it was Assassin's Creed, yeah.
And then I got a katana.
Nice.
And I got probably one of my favorite is Sub-Zero.
Nice.
I would love to get the Scorpion version of that, but I've never seen them.
So when I was a kid, it was around I remember the Mortal Kombat film coming out, and I was big into 90s G.I. Joe action men when it come back out, even to the point there will be a video about that coming up at some point. But I really, really wanted Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and I happened to have Snake Eyes, and, you know, magically he took his ski mask off and he had like the balaclava on, and he had the black trousers with the blue stripe up the side of them, and I just happened to have a black top, and I managed to like make a paper cutout of his blue thing, and I was making Mortal Kombat characters. One of my action men, I even cut out a piece of foil and made Kano. You know, they were Mortal Kombat characters for so long.
That's awesome.
And then I found Dustin from Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, cool.
Thanks.
I was like, I need to find a wee Dustin, because one of the Cardi's figures I found was 11, but it's the Chase version of 11. I managed to find. And then found Sunbird. I'll get Kelt for some, because I don't really know some of the new modern Marvels. I'm fit to show off. I'm fit to show this next one off, because this was a steal.
Go for it.
See if anybody recognizes this guy.
That rings a bell. Why is that setting something off in my head?
I'll give you a clue. There's a new, I think it's a series or a movie coming out very soon.
I have memories that's triggering something, but I can't pinpoint it.
I can't remember the horse's name, but it's from the original Dungeons and Dragons toy line.
Nice.
Oh, right. Do you know what? I probably saw it in one of Dave's Advanced Dungeons and Dragons toy line.
Yeah, it's the
probably where I saw it in his video of his collection.
It's the guy with the blue. I think he's got blue armor. That's his horse. I think it's the main bad guy. But I seen this and I recognize this straight away.
So, like, how much did you get that for? Because anything AD&D is ridiculously expensive.
Well, this was in a £3 like tub.
That's awesome. It's
amazing.
Awesome. He just finds them. It just cost me $3.
Mind you, my little boy went to a charity shop the other week, or a car boot sale, and he came back. All right, it's minus a couple of pieces which I could find. He came back with an Action Force ATC for £3.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, "Yeah, give to Daddy," and he's like, "No,
nope."
And he was like, Dad, I got the Z-Force thing. I was like, the one time I let his nan take him to a car boot sale, I don't go, because he's 8. I can still win a fight against him. I'd have had that.
Evil night.
Don't ever let him win. That's the key. Never let him win.
That's it. Wardrip. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah. Do you know what, my boy? I give it 3-4 years, and he's going to be taller than me. So,
£5 a piece for these.
Nice.
That is cool.
I don't have the camera because it's kind of glary. And I got another. For some reason, I love this guy.
Is that the guy from the Cantina?
Yeah, Dex. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I know he's he wasn't in it very long, but it was just the way he spoke. It's the way
his ass crack's hanging out, and he shoves his trousers up, and he's like,
dude, and they had that Retros 50s diner. He was in that Retros 50s diner. That's how Attack of the Clones. That sort of Attack of the Clones is
for a while. Because I did have them when they first come out, but I went and sold them like an idiot I was.
Yeah.
Then I've been looking for a replacement for them. Yeah. So I finally found them today.
Nice.
Spot on.
I remember people gave him a hard time. I remember people when because people hate Attack of the Clones as a movie. They hate it. And they hated Dex. I loved it. I thought it was all charming. I thought Attack of the Clones was real charming because it was the twist in the movies before it became super dark in the third one.
So who's that guy in that guy in the middle? Looks like Dr. Doom.
Well, funny you should actually think his name is actually Commander Doom.
Commander Doom.
He's like the colours of Dr. Doom, though, isn't he? I mean, with the green and the silver face.
Yeah, I've already got these cards. The reason I bought them because I wanted to open them up. I wanted to have a loose version of these. so I could actually put on the clone art that I've got.
Nice.
That's ideal. What'd you say? Pick them up for £5 a piece.
These were £5 a piece.
Wow.
Apart from that one was £2.50.
Wow.
£2.50.
£2.50.
Bloody
I
hell.
had more for £2.50, but it wasn't characters I was interested in.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna do some conversions for our American friend here because
That's still cheap.
let's have a.
I don't know why I really picked these up.
So that's $6.09 he picked those up for each.
That's pretty cheap. That's cheap. It's cheap.
I picked a couple of these up as well. I don't know why.
What are those?
These are Cried Dwarves. It's
Ninja Turtle stuff.
it's a Rocksteady and
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, I see it now.
by
Bebop?
From
Okay.
what his name is.
Nice.
It's like I was saying to you at the beginning, is that I'm hoping either by the end of the year or sometime next year I want to do my first toy fair.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of sell. So I'm just picking up random pieces. Not saying anybody would be interested in them, but it's always nice. What I've been told is that when you go to them, is that there's a lot of kids go now, and a lot of sellers don't sell stuff specifically for kids.
Yeah.
So it's always nice just to pick up the random bits, just so if kids are interested, then you've got kind of bits for them.
Yeah, something they can pop on when their moms or dad are walking with them or whatever. You know, that's awesome. You know, because that way the kids can be like, "Oh, look at this awesome figure! I know this," and then they'll bring the parents over as well. That's cool.
To be honest with you, I do not know why I picked this up.
Pokemon.
Because it's Ash and it's Pikachu, and why wouldn't you?
And it's probably cheap.
Well, these were £10 each, but the guy gave me the both of them for 12.
Nice.
I just wanted the one set, and he's like, "I'll give you the two sets for £12." He said, "It'll save you splitting them up."
Mm.
I don't know, my camera's the light's a bit from in. They got was it Comedian, Night Owl, and the guy I can never pronounce in Watchmen. Is it Ormagandus?
Ozymandias.
However you pronounce it. And then I got Dr. Manhattan, Rorschach, and Silk Spectre 2. Me and Emsy's actually selling the 6-inch versions of these, but I only want the Comedian set.
So Nick, what's your main thrust on collecting? What do you do?
Oh, okay. So the main thing I collect is vintage Action Man.
Okay.
I like a bit of G.I. Joe because obviously Action Man, the history of coming from G.I. Joe. And this year I've embarked on collecting the vintage run of Star Wars toys on the cheap, which I did a video about. And I like anything really. I mean, I don't have a collection room as such. I have a collection shelf area.
Yeah. My wife buys me an extra shelf every once in a while too, so I know how it is.
Oh, the Super 7 Masters Motu stuff.
I've only ever had Skeletor, and I always wanted to get another one. Just so I seen Taylor. I quite like the artwork on these. But the figures are not that great, man. Look at the face on that.
So seeing how you're an Action Force fan, what do you think about when they transitioned? They killed off was it because it was Red Skull's and not Red Skull's the main bad guy? Action Force.
Yeah, so the Red Skull, after the initial run of figures they did, which were based on the most popular Action Men, they sort of went into having teams like Z Force and Space Force, Q Force. So this is what happens when Action Pop Dad drinks beer before he comes on a stream. He gets forgetful. But yeah, no, you have Baron Ironblood and
Baron Ironblood, that's
Red Shadows. Yeah. But basically, when they decided to rebrand G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, over here, this is just a very brief, probably not accurate description. Yeah. They basically said, sod it, we're not Palatoy, weren't allowed to do theirs anymore. So they brung over G.I. Joe, rebranded it as Action Force Internationals, I believe, and then Cobra took over.
Well, because didn't they have like the Ironblood guy kill off everybody or something like that, and then became like Cobra Commander? Isn't that how they did it, or something? Isn't that how the Switch happened, or something like that?
I'm not entirely sure
Okay.
about that, and you could be right. The thing is, my history, I don't
Well,
know
that's
the
fine.
comic books.
Yeah.
I had a box of the toys,
Mhm.
and to be fair with you, everything beyond what I remember of my childhood toys,
Yeah.
I can't even lie. Most of my knowledge is from watching channels like Analog Toys
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
what have you.
No, yeah, I get it. I didn't read the comics either. I was just the cartoon kid.
That was the
I
cardboard
totally
version
get
I was talking
it.
about, Nick.
Nice.
So this
Oh,
is
cool!
here. So this
11
is
with the little wig on. Do you know what? It was only 6 weeks ago that I started Stranger Things, and me and the wife did the whole lot. Boom. We were hooked.
Nice. I still haven't seen it yet. I don't know.
Let's see if
But
you
now
what
now
that's
is a
from.
good time to dive in because you got 4 seasons
just all in a row,
and
yeah.
season 4, nearly every episode's pretty much a bloody film. So
Good.
really good.
Let's see if anybody knows what that's from. It's from Mcfarland made it, but let's see if you recognize it.
Looks familiar. Is it Spawn? No, it's not Spawn's egg. No. I don't know.
Couldn't pinpoint that.
No expert here.
This I can't remember his name in the game, but this is actually a Fortnite
Ah,
figure.
nice.
That's why I couldn't tell you because I'm not particularly.
I used to pick a lot of the Fortnite stuff up here, Nick, but I kind of stopped it because there was nothing I really wanted anymore. But I seen him, I had to have him. I think it was just the mask. It was just the mask.
And so the Fortnite did come out with like one character that really looked like Firefly before the Classify came out with Firefly. I remember everybody jumping on that figure when it came out.
And the guy gave me a ton of weapons for him as well.
Nice. You always use extra weapons.
But these
extra weapons are always great.
I think because man, I want to get into the G.I. Joe line because I've already got Roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not too sure if these weapons would be compatible with the G.I. Joes.
They'd be all right because the hands, even if you found that they might be a little bit bigger for the hands are real movable. They're real they are tactile, so you could probably get them in there pretty good without.
I was just when I was coming home, I was kind of thinking, I was like, oh, they're weapons that I got.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would go with like the Joes as well once I start picking up. So I know a lot of folk don't like some of the weapons that some of them come with because they're too futuristic. So you want to have them with standard.
Yeah, but they look like Nerf guns. That's what they look like. They look like Nerf guns. That's what everybody said. So,
but I do like the character Peely, so I've got quite a few of him. I do have some of the Mcfarland stuff, and I have some of the Jazzware ones as well. But I kind of stopped buying them. I was only picking up characters that I thought were weird. Like I've got a guy that's got like a tomato for a head. I've got another guy that's got like a fishbowl for a head.
Now I kick myself every day because at GameStop they had a Fortnite figure that was the plastic army guy, the green plastic army guy one, and they had it on clearance. Like, well, this is going to go down. This is going to go down, and then then someone picked it up and I didn't get it, but I should have got it. That's what you get for getting greedy when you're getting.
And I picked up some of the 4-inch ones for my nephew.
Nice.
He loves Fortnite. I've never played the game in my life, but I like some of the character designs with him watching it. And then I picked up a Baroness from the what line was this now again? Loyal Subjects.
So a little tip on weapons. You were saying about weapons for G.I. Joes. If you're going back to your vintage Action Force, there are some repros out there, and they're quite good. I think it's the Crack and Wakes where I get my bits and pieces on eBay. But in the there are, if you live close to Dorset, very unprepared here. I probably shouldn't have gone into this because I haven't got the name. It's in another room. But they do these cheap little 3.75 action figures, and they're like £1. But inside of them, they come with a spool full of weapons, and they fit perfectly with Action Force, and they're all just black and molded. And all right, they're not precise, but when you've got a team of SAS guys like I have, it's perfect. Just for a quid, give your boy the figure, and I take the weapons and put them on my SAS.
That's was a good find.
Nice.
He kind of looks like the guy from the Goonies.
Yeah. This fuck, what was the name of the toy line now? It's a knockoff to like Masters, eh?
Yeah.
But I mean, he comes with his shield. That's a
bonus. I had more knockoff Motu figures as a kid than I ever did have Motu figures. I think I had He-Man. I say I did. My sister was a tomboy, so she had He-Man, she had Skeletor, she had Grislaw, a couple of others, which I sort of inherited secondhand. But the rest of mine were all just sort of like cheap wrestler type knockoffs. But I was more a Thundercats kid. I loved Thundercats.
Yeah, I did pick up a few Thundercats today.
Shitara.
Yeah.
I know a guy on eBay. I actually know him in the real world because he's an Action Man collector, and he does fantastic reproduction weapons for the original Thundercats stuff.
Nice.
So if you need any, Baz, give me a shout because I'll give him a shout.
Well, we're just about down to the last lot. So these are all Marvel. These are all DC figures that I kind of picked back up. I wanted some loose ones. So they're off like the Arrow.
Nice.
Part Catwoman.
Nice.
I like
an older version too. That's like the 80s version of the Catwoman.
Well, this one is kind of because I've managed to find the Flash at a boot sale. I found Lantern at a boot sale. I've already got the Wonder Woman because I have a shrine to the Wonder Woman. I wanted the Catwoman as well.
Yeah.
I just like the design because it's like the old style.
Yeah, like I said, she looks like the '89 Catwoman. I can't remember who it was. That it wasn't that the Penguin, the one with
Michelle Pfeiffer, was it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, can't remember what his. Malcolm. Then I got Arsenal. Oh. Then I had to pick up Arrow.
Yeah.
And I got Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
That's funny. All the other ones have all these like cool outfits and equipment and stuff, and the Felicia like, oh, here's Felicia.
Last one, I picked up one of these the Star Wars Elite series, the like the die-cast figures.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that Jyn Erso.
Yeah.
I
have to say. Sorry,
I do have the Darth Maul. No Darth Maul. I have the Kylo Ren masked and unmasked version, so I thought I'd buy another one just to add to the collection.
I'll tell you what, since the last time I've come in, I've got to say tonight I'm so organised, like because I'm a self-professed cam whore. I've bought myself a light. And I've got a thing that holds my phone here so I can read the comments while I'm talking. I feel like a proper nerd.
That's awesome.
But that's everything, near enough everything that I got today. But there's a couple of things
you've had some banging pickups, dude.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things I want to show to Nick because Nick kind of missed it. Because you're an Action Man kind of person.
Oh, yes.
I found Dr.
Oh, yeah. That's the one where his front fires down, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's cool. I know there's not a lot of love for the 90s Action Man, but sort of. See, I've said this before on stream. I was in the transitional period, the arse end of original Action Man into 90s Action Man. So I've got a lot of love for both.
Good. Nice. That's cool.
That's cool.
Okay, I always say, that's why I never get down on because I know in the G.I. Joe community, there's a rift between the non-military and the military kind of figures, or the brightly colored figures, or when you get into the 90s and the drug force and stuff like that, guys really don't like them. But I always tell guys, it's like, you never know where a person came in to their childhood and collecting. Maybe they came in the 90s and that was their GI Joe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 1993 or whatever was their GI Joe that year, and that's why they're in love with it. That's why I always tell people, don't poop on people's stuff. It is what it is, you know.
Absolutely.
And the question is that I had to go back to the car like 3 times because I couldn't carry everything.
That's awesome.
So I've been active on quite a few of the Action Man Facebook groups for a while now, and I mod on a couple and admin on a couple now. But when I sort of first came into it, I banged heads with a few of the other collectors because they didn't like. They're almost like, you're not old enough to like Action Man. It's like, all right, I was born the year original Action Man ended, but he was still present. They were still toys that I was given and were passed down to me. Obviously, the 90s came. I wanted 90s Action Man off the back of having vintage Action Man.
Yeah.
I would go to car boot sales, buy it. I didn't give a shit if it was Action Man from Palatoy or Action Man from Hasbro. It all got bought. It all got played with. So I'm really into that mix. I understand on the groups that we keep it separate so that there's groups for the 90s stuff and there's groups for the vintage stuff. But some people get so angry if you bring up the 90s stuff. It's like, well, it was there. And to be honest with you, in its day, it was extremely popular. And I think it lasted just as long, if not slightly longer.
88. I thought I seen a date on it, but usually the annuals will have a date with the year they were thingy, but there's nothing on this one. Also found a He-Man one as well, Nick.
I'll tell you what, I've got, Baz, if you want it. I've got a couple of copies of it. Do you like X-Men?
I do.
I've got a 90s X-Men annual, which is I picked up as a kid for like £1. I've got a couple of them, so if you want it, mate, you can have one, because who doesn't have an old annual?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's funny because, man, I've got like Ur Willie annual. Is it for? Yeah, I might not know the.
It's funny. My fondest memory of X-Men and all that were these X-Men cards we used to buy in junior high. You put like 50 cents in, and then you get like 5 cards or something like that. And I remember those were really big and huge, and people collecting them and stuff. And that's where my liking of X-Men come from, is just those cards. And then, of course, I remember watching the cartoons and stuff. So I wasn't a very big comic reader, but I just remember everybody being in the cards, and it was really.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you remind of this, Nick?
I do remember that, yeah.
So this one's from 85. I've had this one for years.
I've also got a few Beano and Dandy
This was a weird pickup.
Shoe people.
The shoe people, I remember them.
I just seen the year in it. I was like, no, I have to have that for the nostalgia.
So, Baz, being as you're Scottish, do you remember the cartoon? Was it called Loch Nessie?
Yes.
Where they had, yeah. That I loved that as a kid. When they blow the whistle and all the different Loch Ness monsters would come up with all their different characters.
That was a classic cartoon. Classic.
That was definitely one of my faves as a kid. That and the Raggy Dolls. I don't know if you remember Raggy Dolls.
Yep, I remember Raggy Dolls.
Look who's in the reject bin. It's the Raggy Dolls. I'm not going to sing because I'm crap at singing, but yeah, that's the lyrics.
That's funny.
But yeah, we had some cool. I mean, they're probably shite looking back at them, but we had some cool cartoons growing up, didn't we? I mean, like Banana Man. It was based off the Dandy Comics character Banana Man, but when Eric ate a banana, he became Banana Man.
So
what an amazing concept for a superhero.
Told me that blue guy that I picked up, that's from a Toy Line Cry Galaxy Warriors. I knew it was something down that line. I just couldn't remember. That's a different shield that he's got, so it might not be his proper shield, but still finding something like that from the 80s it's still nice to find the nostalgia kind of thing.
Oh, definitely. If anything gives me a bit of nostalgia and reminds me of obviously I'm more a 90s child than an 80s child, being born in 84, but anything that kicks back nostalgia, it's got to be done. But I had a couple of decent pickups this week, actually. Well, I say decent, but for the money, they were good. First of all, I'm going to say you need to watch my new video to see all of them, because I'm not going to give it all away, as you might not watch my video. But I was in Asda, and I picked up £3.10 each for the retro collection, Leia and Lando.
Nice.
I mean, I bought these for me to display, and I bought 2 for my kid. And he's already slammed them into the sandpit.
I watched your video on the way back from the boot sale. As like,
oh, cool.
I went and got some breakfast. So I was just sitting in the car and I said, "I'll see what." I noticed that you put the video up, but the Asda's was basically where I was sitting. Asda's was basically, and I went straight to Asda's to see if they had any, and they were all sold out.
Ah, damn! They did have some Mandalorian toys reduced, just like the annoying Ugnaught that says "I've spoken" and Apollo Creed. I know that's not what it's called in it, but we know who I mean. Cole Weathers, and all the main characters were gone. But to be honest with you, I didn't need those, and I just thought, well, to be totally honest, originally I was just going to rip this off the packet, upset many Star Wars collectors, and put the accessories with my vintage Lando, because I don't care.
Yeah, that's right.
But then I thought, do you know what? Actually, I just want to put him up as he is. He's pretty cool. I mean,
I've got. When the first lot come out, I basically opened them up and put them on the shelf of the rest of my vintage stuff that I had, because I know they're not proper vintage figures, but I thought they looked nice next to them. But I only wanted to see the difference between the Vader. I've got the vintage Vader, and I wanted to see what if there was any difference. And it's the only difference is the color. That's the new one's more glossy, kind of thing. But
can I just give a little shout out to somebody in the chat? My friend Miss Detty, Adette, has shown up to the chat, and she's really cool because she always comes along. She always watches my videos, but she always comes to any live chat I'm on. So hello, Adette. Hope you're not pissed this evening.
And I've started picking up like the Mandalorian ones, because I've got Cara Dune, I've got Grogu, I've got Mando, I've got IG, and I just went and no long picked up. Is it Pete Gareth, Gareth? The other guy that can't fucking mind what his name is now. The Apollo Creed.
It's Apollo Creed, mate. It's Apollo Creed.
That's his name. That has to be his name.
I mean, I've named annoying Ugnaught and Apollo Creed. I think, that's all we need. We know who we mean.
Man, I've got the other guy. I've got the, because I quite like the mission fleet. I know it's not for everybody, but when I seen him with his little his little dinosaur thing, lizard thing, I had to buy it. And then I've noticed they've been, over the last 6-7 months, they have been getting reduced. So I've picked up Boba, I've picked up Ahsoka. I've also got the Luke's A-Wing as well. Y-Wing, sorry.
Nice.
I'll just pick them up.
Sorry, Baz. I think there's a bit of a delay. So if it sounds like I hate this, to say anything about live stream, sometimes I feel like I'm being rude talking over people, but there's sometimes a little bit of a delay. The only retro, I probably, when they released the retro collection box set with Obi-Wan, 3PO, and R2, what's that? Hannah Sober, thank you, Nick. God made me sound like a fangirl. Just supporting my mate. She's not a fan. She's far from a fangirl. I'll probably get that box.
She says that there's something wrong with fangirls. There's nothing wrong with fangirls. Let's be honest with ourselves now. Come on now.
It's just cool to have a girl in the chat who actually like geeky stuff, to be honest.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, give her a hard time. Absolutely. Good. Give her a hard time.
It's like a lot of folks say is that girls shouldn't collect. I disagree with that. Anybody's allowed to collect. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. If you like collecting Star Wars or He-Man or whatever, you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
I hate when folks say, "Oh, girls shouldn't be playing computer games. Girls shouldn't be collecting action figures." It's a lot of, excuse my language, but it's a lot of bollocks.
Yeah.
That's all right. We're past 9 o'clock, and you know it's past 9 o'clock because Action Pop Dad will have a beer and have a vape on camera, so he doesn't care. Past 9 o'clock. If your kid's watching at this time, that's on you. That's not on me.
You know, I'm trying to
You have to remember though, on the west coast of America, it's only 2:00 in the afternoon. So
oh yeah, true. So there's a slight flaw in this plan, I must admit. All right, so we should probably censor me for the American audience, but for the English audience, what are you up for at this time? Go to bed.
I'm just actually kind of curious now because I've not actually properly looked at these monsters in your pocket, but even though if I don't have one of those in my box, if you still want it, let me know and I'll send it to you, Nick.
Oh mate, that'd be great. If there's anything you need, are there any bits and pieces you need? He's cool.
I'm just kind of never really probably had a look at some of these.
Because it wasn't until they got later down the line that they got painted, but there was also some exclusive lines that came out with like Frosty's cereal, if I recall.
Yeah, some of the it's like when they done because I've got like there's monsters in your pocket wrestlers, and then you had like the sports guys. The sports guys, when Kellogg's had it, you got from in Tony the Tiger as a
yeah. How the hell are we pulling this out of the memory bank? That's
Heck, I don't think they even give away toys in cereal boxes anymore, do they?
No, I think
I don't think they do at all.
I think this one's meant to be like a bed bug because it's got like a bed on his back.
That's funny.
Hey Baz, do you remember Spokey Dokies that used to come in cereal, and you put them on the spokes of your bike, those little coloured beads, and they make an annoying clanking sound.
Yeah, kind of like a baseball card in your spokes. Have you ever done a baseball card?
Yeah, only more annoying.
Okay.
And you could get like these reflectors, and you'd get like the Kellogg's chicken and the other characters. And what is interesting, and I'm not going to go into it on here, but ask your Google or your the other one, Amazon thing, at some point, the history of why Kellogg's cornflakes were made. Don't do it when kids are around. It's an interesting history, and it might shock you.
These are actually quite. I've probably got for mine. I've probably got these guys in that tub as well, but we can't have enough of these.
There's something about the 90s, wasn't it? It was everything was just like little pocket.
Yeah,
it was great.
See, I can't even. I'm sure when these come out, I'm sure they were either 50 pence or 75 pence or something for a packet. Sure, they weren't expensive.
It's funny because like my kids, they never got into like a specific toy line growing up, like we did. It seems like we would get into specific ones and whatnot. My kids, I don't see that. Because I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, and both of them, they never really like, oh, I gotta have all of this one kind of toy line, or I've gotta have, this and that. It just never was that way. I don't know if our generation was just different. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know how your kids.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I don't know how your kids are, but my kids just don't. They just don't never gravitated toward. Oh, I want all of this. And of course, both my kids hate Star Wars, so there's that too. So. Well,
I've had a few breakthroughs there. Just to say, where is it? Jared Kane just said just ordered the Obi-Wan retro figures.
Nice.
I do want the Obi-Wan retro Darth Vader. He's one that I kind of want. But no, there's a few things out here at the moment. My kid's collecting something called Super Things. And it's very much you buy them in a bag. They're little rubber figures and you collect them. So some of that does still go on over here in the UK. And I nearly swore then. They're bloody expensive. Yeah. Muscle.
See, for some reason, I still always have a love for muscle men because muscle men back then were weird as hell.
Yeah.
I've got one. I've
Well,
got one.
they're a Japanese line that we bought over here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I remember my parents
I'm
didn't
not
like.
even going to try even pronounce the proper name for it, but it's something man.
But like I remember my parents being upset about Ninja Turtles and thinking Ninja Turtles were gross looking and all that kind of stuff when I was a kid. I mean,
We weren't even allowed Ninja Turtles, dude. The cartoon over here was called Hero Turtles because
Hero
ninjas. Seriously, they changed it to Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles because over here ninjas was deemed that we'd all go around and karate chop each other in the throat.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's quite a cool one. But I'm more stoked about getting a glow in the dark one because these ones are very, very happy.
Does it still glow in the dark? Have you tested it yet? Warmed it up with light and seen? It probably does. It's probably old enough it doesn't.
It might do.
It may?
I know these are a lot of folk are after these, so it's always nice to have these.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you find a glow in the dark, you're not going to sell it to somebody, but
yeah. I'm just curious if it still works.
But I know there is one glow in the dark one I've got, and it's like 80 quid for this one, and I don't know why it's 80 quid.
Oh, isn't it shocking sometimes when you look on eBay and you look at things and you think, oh, I want to get this from your childhood, and you look and you think, Jesus Christ, I shot that with an air rifle or I buried it in the garden, and now it's going for about 200 pissing quid.
Why? They've gone on. He might recognise these. I found these at the weekend.
I'll tell you what, Bazan and I've got an impressive collection behind him.
Yeah. I'm always amazed what people have. You know, that's the thing about the.
These at the weekend. I found these last Saturday.
Oh yeah. Those are cool.
They are cool. What's on the
what
base?
What are they from? What are they supposed to? Are they cake toppers? Are they?
No, I don't know if you can. I don't know if Mcfarland will pick these up, but these are from 2004 Gentle Giants.
Now you see, if they were made in the 90s, they would that base would have been an ink stamp. And you'd have been able to stamp a stormtrooper helmet with that.
Yeah.
So they all. I've only got one of them. It's complete, but they all. So got that one. You could actually take his arm off.
Oh, okay.
You could replace it with like a pointing one, but the pointing one basically the one that's got the binoculars.
I see. Okay.
All right. Cool.
I see, because I paid 50 pence for that. I was wondering. I only bought it for the weapons. I thought all the weapons could ting. I says the weapons might come in handy for something, but it's like the blaster is attached to the hand. But then when I was opening it up, I was like, Gentle Giants. That's the ones that make all the bus stuff.
Yeah. See, as a kid, it was a curse and a blessing. If the figure was fixed in the hands, you knew you weren't going to lose it. But it also really pissed me off because I hated things like that because.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just bugged me as a kid, you know. I'll tell you a figure line. Sorry, Baz, you carry on, mate.
I've got a weird figure line. It's called Matt Hatter, and majority of the figures from that line, all their weapons are basically attached to their hands, but they're all in like weird fucking poses. So I've got there's like a clown, and his hands basically like that. He's got a lollipop in one hand, and then his other hand's like a way up here. It's like.
So I'll tell you a toy line that I looked at on eBay the other day, and I had them all as a kid. There was a toy line. It was by Matchbox in the UK. I think in America it was released by another company, but they were called Connectables. And what they were is they were like a series of all different characters, and some were based on horror movies. And what you could do is you could pop their limbs off. And you could interchange them between characters. I don't know if anyone in the chat had those. But anyway, I thought, I wouldn't mind picking up a few of those. Yeah, I ain't going to be picking any of those up anytime soon. They are insane money.
Now, Nick, if you're a kid of the 90s, did you ever check out our show called Exo Squad? You ever seen that? Yeah. So
Yeah. That rings a bell.
Do you guys recognize this little guy?
Oh yeah.
This is JT Marsh's Exo Squad skeleton. I love that show. Now talk about expensive toy line. This and Mask is expensive too. This is pretty spendy on aftermarket too. So if you find an Exo Squad stuff, yeah, that's good stuff. But yeah, I love these little mechs. I think they call it Robotech is another. They turned it into Robotech, or was it from Robotech or something like that? The toys were, but I love that show, and that talk about, like you said, you love the '90s. Talk about a show. That was real. That show was no joke. It had death in it. It had main characters die in it, and they talk because it was all about the Homo sapiens versus the humans, and you guys know the show. And that talk about
that. I've always wanted to have one of those Echoes, but I've seen the prices of them, and it's like
yeah,
a bit pricey, very pricey. But
yeah, I got a good deal on it, and then I've been collecting. I got a couple of Jump Troopers because in the second season they had guys that didn't have mechs; they were just Jump Troopers. I got a couple of those too. I picked up real cheap. Like I said, just be patient. And like anybody in the chat or anybody new to collecting, just be patient out there. You know, you don't have to get everything right away. You know, if the deal's not right, the deal's not right. You know, don't be.
When I first started collecting Action Man, I just went twatty on some of the prices I paid.
Yeah.
For example, a bandolier for a space pirate from Action Man. I think I paid, Jesus Christ, I think I paid about 25 quid for one.
Ooh.
Only to be given one 2 weeks later by a friend who had one spare. And then to find one at a toy fair for about 4 quid.
That's funny.
So I ended up with free.
Yeah.
If there's something new come out, I used to just go buy it there and then pay the money what it was. Now I've kind of decided is like, no, wait, take your time, see if the prices go down, then pick it up. I always wanted Tigertron. I never had the original Beast Wars Tigertron. Tigertron was one of those kind of characters that he didn't know if he was a maximum or if he was an animal. He was more at home with being in the wild. There was just something about the character I liked, and it's the same with Air Razor. Air Razor was another one. And I wanted to go and buy the Fallen Kingdom version of Tigertron, but he was like 30 quid. And I was like, is it worth 30 quid for a Transformer?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what else you got to almost decide on now as well when it comes to stuff. For instance, these. Yeah. All right, I picked these up for 3 quid, say. But I regret not picking up the rest of them when they were a tenner because they're mental price.
Right.
Absolutely mental. I'd like to get them all, but I'm not paying the money. And even I went to order because they released the first 6 again in the box set, and I thought, oh, that's gonna be whatever it is, and I sold out. And now people are putting it on eBay. So rather than paying 75 quid for it, there's dickheads out there wanting the best part of 150 quid for it. And I kind of hope they re-release it again because, again, we could have big discussions about scalpers, but it's almost like you've got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, I hear you.
There's no time to think with things like this. It's almost like people will buy it, they'll slate it, whatever. But if you wait and you suddenly think, I want this, apart from the few peg warmers where you will get them cheap, the rest of them, you're going to be paying through the nose. And Luke Reynolds said to me, I sent him a message the other day saying, look, someone's got a Yoda for 25 quid. And he's like, mate, don't do it. Don't do it, period. Don't do it. It's a £10 figure. And he is right. Just, I need to be patient.
Just wait it out.
And hold off.
It's just like the things like I pre-ordered for the first time some Star Wars. I'm not Star Wars, but G.I. Joe classified figures, and like I won't ever do that again. I ain't waiting around a year, to buy a toy that I'm starting to see people get now on the stores. So I'm not seeing. I understand, like I don't have to. I'm going to get the figure eventually, but I don't understand. Like I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem right that I'm going to wait. I'm going to give you all this money. I'm going to wait a year. And then you're going to sell it to stores first and everybody else first. And then eventually it'll come because I pre-ordered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a piss take. You should get it before the stores. If you're pre-ordering, your door first on your doorstep. Sod
Yeah.
everyone else. You pre-ordered.
Yeah, but it doesn't work out that way, and that's why I'm very soured on pre-ordering. I'm very souring on. Then I'm tired of, like, I don't put it this way. I love when other people get this cool stuff and then they find it and they get it. That's great. That's awesome. But I just don't feel the need to rush around for it anymore. I don't want that pressure of, I'm pissed off because I remember especially when Classified first came out, you couldn't find, especially in my area in Northwest, you can't find stuff. You can't find nothing. All we had was the ugly roadblock, the white and black roadblock. But no, it's a great figure, but that's all we had was that road. It was like, well, but you got frustrated, and so it's just like I'm done being frustrated because it takes the fun out of it. So if I go into a store and I'm not finding what I'm looking for, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the attitude I'm taking. Let the toys find me in a way. That's kind of the fun.
I mean, when
of
you
it,
think you think I paid last week for a vintage removable limbs C3PO. Well, I didn't come with his backpack, but you can get those. I'm not too worried.
Yeah.
12 quid posted. Now they're going to release this retro collection box set with the other 12. I get why they're doing it. They're releasing the first 12. I get it. And I do want them. I just hope they release a stand for it because I'm never going to afford the vintage one. But 12 quid. Yeah. I got that for. And there's people out there charging 25, 30, 40 quid for these. Nah, I'm not doing it. Do you know what? Actually, in some ways, I'd rather either buy a stand solo one or find the vintage one because at least I know.
I mean, a few years back, it must have been about 3-4 years ago. It was way before the pandemic. But you know when it was a third-party company, I'll show you because I've got the Stormtroopers, but folk were actually boxing these up as vintage ones and selling them on.
I know the ones you mean. I looked to get some just as troop builders, but you can't find them now.
From a company called Crazy Toys. So
I wanted to get some, but they're too expensive now.
But folk were picking these up and selling that and repackaging it as a vintage Stormtrooper. It looks like a vintage Stormtrooper, but to the trained eye, you can tell.
Yeah.
The way is it. The first
I believe on those as well. They've got ratcheted limbs as well. So, but obviously, when you're looking on an eBay listing, you can't see that. And
but what folk were doing is they're buying tons of them and selling the blaster. For like 50 quid. They were because
you know what?
I got this for a toy fair. I got this for a toy fair about 4 or 5 years ago. I only paid about 3 quid for it. But there was a guy there and he bought 27. He bought 27 of these. And I overheard him saying, I'm going to sell the white one and say that it's a vintage style one. And it goes, even I knew when I've seen these, they're when the proper style, proper.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's dickheads like that set off all the repro police. I mean, to be fair, one of the reasons I couldn't care less about repro weapons is, one, because no one tells me how to collect.
Yeah.
I'm big enough and brave enough to deal with a few comments. 2, I'm not paying hundreds of pounds for a fucking, for a flipping piece of plastic. I'm not doing it. I've got some vintage weapons, but the thing is, mate, I'm a plasterer by trade. I'm not a brain surgeon, so I ain't spending 100 quid on a blaster. Equally, I don't sell nothing, me, so my collection will be with me to the day I die. And to be honest with you, I just think I don't want to turn it into a discussion about the repro police, but it is what it is. Horses for courses. Whatever your budget is. I mean, my budget is: can I afford to spend £100 on a repro weapon? Yes, I can, but I can't afford to be castrated by my wife for doing it. And equally, morally, I don't want to do it because I'd rather spend £3 on a repro gun and £97 on beer and takeaway.
There you go. Priorities.
Exactly.
In your Discord, Nick, we have one guy. He's Etsy's Cried Ranger Forge. He does all the replacement parts for Zords. Like if some Zords have got separate fasts, he 3D prints them all. that doesn't bother me, man. If I find a Zord that's got a piece missing, you go on eBay just to find out exactly what it's going to cost. I'm missing one sword from one of my Mystics Zords. I ain't paying £45 for a bit of plastic. And it's only about that size. And he says, "Oh, I can make you one for a quarter of that price."
Because I don't mind if even like when I buy on eBay, there's a couple of sellers and if they use repro parts, as long as they tell you, as long as they're upfront with it and they're like, "Hey, this is a repro. Yeah, it's a repro gun or whatever, or weapon or whatever it happens to be." That's cool because I know what I'm buying. Or if I was going to sell to somebody, "Hey, I have a replacement part here or whatever it is," that's cool because sometimes you just, some people don't care. Like, I don't care personally, but some people do. But as long as you're upfront about it, you're not.
Look, I mean, I've never. The thing that boils my noodle the most is I have zero problem with anyone who wants all vintage. And wants to pay the money. I literally couldn't care less, bro. It's your money. You do what you want with it. You earn your pound notes. You do what you want with them. I don't care. It's not affecting my life. If what you're doing doesn't affect my life, I couldn't give a monkeys.
Yeah.
But it's the whole
they hate on people who do. Yeah.
Well, I wonder today. I mean, I dropped 5 or 6 subs when I dropped my video, and I wonder if anyone watched them was like, "Oh, he said he doesn't care about repro weapons," and I thought, if that is the case, who cares?
Yeah, everybody can have an opinion, but man, if you can't afford, say, £100 for a lightsaber, you're going to get a cheaper version of it.
100%.
It's not like you're going to sell some of that stuff, because to me, some of my collection is personal and it's got a lot of history. It wouldn't really bother me if I got 3D printed stuff done, because I'm going to speak to Brian because I want to see if he can. He always likes to challenge this guy. I would like to try and get some weapons for my Masters of the Universe, my original ones. And I know some of them have like the clip-on armor. He always likes a challenge, and we've all talked about it. But he's the next time I speak to him, we're going to see if he can actually do certain weapons.
You see Shabby's comment. Shabby says, "Action Pop Dad is buying everyone a lightsaber." Cheers, Nick. I mean, I'm not sure how what I said says that I'm buying everyone a lightsaber, but
hey, I'll take one of those beers you're drinking. What you drinking there, if you don't mind me asking?
This is the beer I always. Well, this is what I call my daily, not daily beer. I'm not an alcoholic, but I am on holiday at the moment. This is my time off, my summer time off. Beer Moret or Beer Moretti, lovely beer. I'm never going to be a person who does endorsements or adverts for my channel, but if Beer Moretti wants to send me a case, I'll plug it every bloody video.
As everybody knows, is that I've done my custom Harley Quinn figure, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to speak to Brian and see if he can actually do me a lightsaber or some sort of. But
that'd be cool.
Like the lightsaber Hulk, but instead of being like a saber, it's like a hat, like the hammer or the baseball bat.
Yeah.
Well, comes out.
That'd be cool.
But I'm loving how this is now finished. I just need to put a gloss on it so it doesn't chip. But I'm loving this. I mean, I was so happy. I was like a child on Christmas morning when this was finished. It's like I was so proud I managed to do something like this. I've never attempted anything like this.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to at some point, Baz. I mean, how do you put a price on customizing something because of the time and hours? But at some point, I'm gonna have to send you something and say, Baz, just do whatever the hell you want to it, and because I love your customs. They're so cool.
Well, I've just got into it, and it's so down to my good friend Shadow Wiz Rory, because at the minute I'm in the middle of repainting this.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that is cool.
So I'm in the middle of repainting this.
Nice.
Oh,
So
that's very cool.
This is Cyclops from the toy line Chami that we all know, the cheap, nasty, but the sculpt on these ones were really good. I don't like that
Yeah.
green color, so I've kind of decided to get like a fleshy color.
Nice.
But it's actually it's looking quite nice. But when you look at the head,
Yeah,
that's how it the head's just about finished. I've just got to kind of do the odd bits to it, but.
So can I just say,
I've been working on this.
Nice.
Sorry, excuse the cough. I've just got to say, we've all seen the Matrix films, and you know when the Merovingian gives his speech about cause and effect, and he says, "I drink too much wine, cause and effect. I drink too much wine, therefore I need a piss." Well, cause and effect. I'll be back very shortly.
But
all right. He's going to break the seal, everybody. Don't break the seal. You can't break the seal.
it's like I was going to attempt to customize this and do a Harley Quinn Ranger. But this body, it's not kind of going to work because the head, because of it's got the longer neck. When you put the Harley Quinn head on it, it looks
right.
weird. But that'll be one of the future projects, is that I want to turn one of the Lightning Collection figures into a Harley Quinn.
That's cool.
Themed one as well. That's like what Roy was saying. It was, if you don't try, you'll not know. So that was my first attempt. I've kind of messed the helmet up a little bit, but
yeah, it looks good to me. It looks good. I like it.
A lot of folk have said is that you've the paint's kind of overlap, because I did try to duct tape it, but the duct tape I had was rubbish. But now I'm liking it, because the way my brain works is that Harley Quinn is basically designed her own costume, so she's painted this.
Yeah.
So I don't mind if there's like little bit paint goes onto the red or onto the black kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? All those customs, it's just doing it. I'm proud of anybody who puts in the time, the skill, just to start, and that's a. I know it's so beautiful,
this is the first time you've been on the live stream, but I have posted. I think I've posted this in the Monkey Lizard group, but this was my first attempt. So it was basically. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's funny.
So I don't know what I've done. Oh, my nephew must have the other one. But I just had on a standard Star Wars style body, and then I managed to find a decent lanyard figure with articulation. So shoved the head on that. That's off Luke Skywalker, the cloak. So to try and make him like a proper
a cowboy duster. Yeah, nice.
I keep saying to myself, it's like that's like Snake Eyes' long lost brother.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to take off. I got to spend some time with the kiddos. But thank you for having me.
Coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me coming on. It was I always enjoy coming on, meeting out great folks. Nice meeting you, Nick. It was a pleasure.
Nice chat to you, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
Like I always say, stay safe, and if you can't, keep careful, because we can't always be safe. And we'll see you guys on the timeline. All right.
See you soon. Look forward to doing it again, man.
Have a winner there,
Right, so just us.
Shabby.
Oh, you knew Shabby would have nipple tassels, mate. It's a given, isn't it? I mean, let's be fair. So yeah, those pickups you got were absolutely ace, mate. So what was your sort of total spend today on all that, do you reckon?
Well, I had a spare 180 quid, and I've come back with 40 quid. So I spent about 140 quid altogether.
Yeah, but for everything you got, I don't think that's bad at all, man.
You at the beginning, because you kind of missed it, it's the majority of the stuff I got for the boot sale was from one person, because this was his last day, Nick. He was kind of he's what he was saying to me a couple of weeks ago is that he was thinking about just getting it up. It was just getting too much for him, getting up in the morning and trying to find stock. And so the last couple of weeks, he's basically just been thinning out what he had. I wasn't there last week, But when I come in this morning, he was like, "Hey, Baz," he says, "I've got some bits for you." We've kind of got to know him over the years, eh? And I was like,
You do any of these things. I mean, I go to the Shepton Mallet train and toy fair every couple of few months, and in the 5 or 6 I've been to, you get to know the traders, and they know I'm the Action Man guy, and they do you know what I mean? So
it was like when I seen him this morning, he's like, "Oh," he says, "I've got 2 big tubs here. I've kept them specially for you." And I was like, "Oh, cheers." And
perfect.
I noticed the Star Wars stuff. I was like, "Right, what's he going to charge for these?" And he's just handing me this like pile of bags. He says, "Whatever you can put in that bag, you can have for £1." And I'm saying to myself, that's the worst thing to say to a Scotsman.
Oh man,
Just basically,
he was going to fill that bag.
I seen the Star Wars stuff, and I basically filled the bag up with the Star Wars stuff, and then another one, I just kind of taken out bits that for myself and bits from the nephew, and just random bits. So like, I basically
That's the thing. You got your nephew to buy for. I've got my boy to buy for. And do you find when you go to these shows or car boots and that, you see things and you think, they'd like that. They'd like that. So you tend to buy it from because you think, yeah, they'd want that.
It's like my nephew.
There's nothing better than when you hand him a toy, is there?
Oh, man, my nephew, he loves like wrestling, Batman. So I got him quite a few of the 4-inch Batman figures. It's like the last time I taken him to the boot sale was a few months back. The same guy that got all the stuff after the day, he had wrestlers. He wanted 150 a wrestler, but these were all the elite ones. So 150 a wrestler didn't really mind paying. He's like, "Cause it's you." He says, "Is that your wee boy?" I went, "No," I said, "It's my nephew." And he goes, and he's like, he says, "Can I get these?" And it's like, so he's going in, and he's like, "For you, son," he says, "I'll give you them for £1." So he got 2 wrestlers for £1. And these were the better sculpt ones and the better articulated ones. But my nephew's, I always say my nephew's like my Padawan, because he's getting to the stages that when you take him to a charity shop, he basically zooms right to where the toys are, and he just starts going through it, and he's like, "Oh, I've got this, and I've got that, and I've got this, and I've got that." Because it was him that found I went and found SH Figure Arts Black Widow figure. Well, I never found it. He found it. And he's like, "Look at this." And I looked at it and knew exactly what it was. It's like, right, pick up with the other thing that you want, and we're going to the till.
Perfect.
She cheered me for that, but she didn't cheer me for the other figure because she thought he'd come in with a figure. I says, "Let's go before she fucking notices."
That's the thing. I mean, Jax is getting so good at knowing what he's looking for, and even when we go to sorry, it's my little old man here. This is Ozzy. He's almost 15, bless him. Jax goes to toy fairs and look at him. He's pouring at me to stroke him, little bugger. We go to toy fairs and the traders there will just like, Jax will go up and he'll go, "How much for that?" "Oh, that's £2. Give us £1." You know. So it's just kind of like,
That's just like
attacking me.
There's another guy there that I buy some bits off him, and his prices are not too bad, but he has got some weird frigging pricing on some of them. But every time I got my nephew there, he's like, he's got big tubs of fully wrestlers, and my nephew will just pick some out, and he was like, he wants like £3 a wrestler, this guy, but he ends up giving them to my nephew for £1.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, well, it'd be £6, but
hey, Jerry Kane,
happy.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I should just can you see this silly cat? He's like pouring at me now. Not to turn your channel into a cat channel. No, the thing is with Jax, mate, I should send him to do the negotiation for anything I want, because he gets a better deal than I do, to be honest. He always does.
Yeah, the thing with my nephew is that when we go into the charity shop, if we go to the toy section and there's nothing there, he basically goes up to the till where the lassie signed it. He goes, "Excuse me, but do you have any more toys?" And if we're in when a certain manager's in, he'll go up, he'll ask her, and then she brings out this big tub. And she goes, "Well, go have a look through it, see if there's anything in it for you." And now, as soon as we go in, you have a look. If there's nothing, no like action figures or cars or thingy, he'll go straight up and ask. And then she just brings out this tub for him. She says, "I remembered you asked me the last time, so I'll usually keep some bits and pieces in case you ask."
Oh,
The
yeah,
last
Jack,
time he got like,
Jax does very similar, mate. Jax does very similar. He'll go into our local charity shop, and the thing is, he knows where the storeroom is on one of them, and he'll look round the bloody corner. And the thing is, because he's little and he's sweet, they let him get away with it. So they won't let me do it. But if I take Jax with me, he can sort of peek behind the curtain, so to speak, and see all the bargains. Whereas with me, I've got to
I was like, the first time he did it, Nick, I was looking at the DVDs and I just happened to turn up. I goes, "Where is he?" And he's basically there and he's gone for it. And it's like, went out and goes, "That's just come in." He's like, no, he's just went and asked me if we had any toys. I was like, "All right then." And he got like about 12 Power Rangers stuff because he likes Power Rangers as well. But we've never really. I don't
I'm
think.
sure you've influenced him on the right path. That I've had a good day today with Jackson because we I'll send you the pictures actually. We built a Hoff scene in my front room with the AT-AT, and we built a Rebel base and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Jax was like, should we watch The Empire Strikes Back? And he never wants to watch the films because Darth Vader scares the shit out of him, to be honest. But
My nephew went to Disneyland, what, about 4 years.
I'm so glad for the mute button because Beer Moretti's very gassy, so I do apologise. Yeah, but
Right,
we
we're
watched.
just coming up to the 2 hours, so we'll have a quick chat after stream anyway, Nick. If you're still,
Yeah, anytime, man. Yeah, mate. I'm up. I'm at 'em. So it's not a problem. I'll carry on as long as you want or whatever. No problem.
I'm just going to finish up the stream now because that's coming up for the 2 hours kind of thing. So like with the StreamYard, I've just got the basic thing, so I've got to kind of watch because you only get like 20 hours a month, kind of thing.
Oh right, okay, cool. That's fair enough, man.
But I'll finish up the night. I'll finish up now. I do appreciate yourself coming on, Nick. I appreciate you coming, you there coming on, and everybody in the chat. Just them watching. I was expecting everybody to come on. I've kind of lost track of the comments again. I've done that on Thursday, but I do appreciate for everybody that's come on.
Dude, I've got them at the side of me, and it's hard to try and do this and watch the comments. It's so hard.
Me and Dave should hopefully be back on. Hopefully, me and Dave will be back on Thursday, and hopefully, I'll have some good news on Thursday as well. Brilliant. If everyone goes plan over the weekend, but we'll finish it here. Thanks to everybody that's coming on. Really appreciate all the support and that everybody's been giving us recently. Love it, and it's like yourself. It's always nice to meet other people like yourself, Nick.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. Anytime you want me, I'll be here.
Right, so we'll just call it a night. Catch you all later.